Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 394. Let's see what we can get together here. It's alright. But I was getting a little bit salty about all these ribbons in the previous video. I think we'll let that one go. We've really kind of drove home the various decks that can be done with this Noxus thing here recently. I know we've drafted this Total Recall Teemo paired up with Noxus here even more recently, and so I'm gonna jump in on this Shen. And so we'll pull him up on the site and talk about it just a little bit more. So if you're not familiar, we're just over here at ftpbus.com. Keep all my expedition-related content here, the expedition helper, the tier lists, all the video guides, the set reviews, all that stuff lives over here in one easy-to-find kind of place. But today we'll be on the main page. We'll just scroll down to the bottom of the page to this little drop-down box, make our way to Shield Wall Shen, take a peek at what we're looking at here. And so, yeah, kind of the thing with the Shen card pool is it tends to just be a supporting card pool. We very rarely actually come out here and build around Shen, and I assume that that's likely what we'll end up doing here today. Kind of the problem with this Shen card pool is, number one, support is only good half of the time, right? You don't get any bonuses out of support on your opponent's turn, or on your opponent's attack token, I should say. And this might change itself a little bit here, seeing some of these Poppy cards come out with the spoilers in the new expansion. But as it stands, the Shen giving a barrier is only good if you're attacking, and so you can't use your opponent's token if you're not attacking it. If like Shen is your only unit on the board, or if say your opponent has like a 5/5 on the board and you don't want to just slam a Shen into it, then the ability doesn't do anything, and so. If you do, look to build around it, there are some potential things within this card pool to do. The big thing that you're looking to do is use some combination of Shen and Young Witch, so that you can make a unit survive combat, and then have the big units be things like Scales of the Dragon, just a high attack, low defense unit. The other one is the Tasty Feyfolk, and then you have some value units like the River Shaper. You could look to make this an kind of OTK deck, the Swole Squirrel, but if you're going the Swole Squirrel route, you need to find a way to give it Overwhelm or to give it Elusive. And so, all in all, these aren't things that I'm really looking to do. They even took the one cost unit out of this card pool, the one that gets +2 attack whenever a unit gets barrier. And so that was, I think, that was in the 211 patch, and I think that was kind of the signal that, hey, you're never building around Shen. This barrier thing is just not going to be what you're doing, and so figure out something else to do. And that something else tends to just be challengers, right? Shen Fiora has classically been one of the better decks in Constructed, and it's usually what you look to be doing with this card pool, just pairing it up with Demacia, loading up on challengers, and then using this as a support as opposed to a build around. So, if we do look to build around, we will look to this, big 3-drop. A big attack 3-drop kind of theme. Otherwise, we're probably just going to be looking for Shen and Young Witches and a bunch of challengers to take advantage of this stuff. So let's see what comes up, though. Of course, no surprise Shyvana shows up, because that's just what this format is these days. And I think we're just kind of stuck taking Shyvana. The problems that we run into here, we could just abandon Shen and draft around Viego. It's just not something that I'm like super excited to do. Like we can pick up some of the early game sacrificables, things like Cursed Keeper, but I really like these decks to be working together, and then there's just no early game sacrificables in the Shen card pool. And so what we would probably find is our deck would have like the Shen Sonic Wave Key Guardian. We might find like 1 or 2 barrier cards, and then otherwise it's just going to be 100% Shadow Isles. And I don't think Vigio can really hard carry like that. I think he needs to be paired up with another dragon faction. We could, look to the Anivia. She is kind of interesting. We could look to just hard abandon the Ionia and look to draft Elnix. I think I'm pretty confident that this Anivia card pool doesn't have the cards I want in it. Like I want the Elnix and I want the 2 challenger units. Right, there are a handful of challengers in. Oh, I still got to get this fixed. I forgot everything's doubled up. There is, a handful of challengers in Freylord, but I don't think, none of them live in this card pool. And so again, with this, we would just be drafting around the Bull Elnix and the Troop of Elnix, calling it a day. And so that does bring us back here to the Shyvana and trying to find some kind of challenger theme that we could go after. And this isn't like the worst set of cards that we could try to do that with. Confront is not a card that I like, but if we're trying to get a bunch of challengers on the board for Shen, it is something that we could do. And then, of course, Shyvana is a great all-around unit, but the big unit I would be looking for here is the Challenger Dragon, the 4/5 Fury Challenger for 5 mana, and that would be kind of our build around kind of thing. And so let me pull up this Dragon's Descent Shyvana real quick. I don't think that there's like too much going on in this. The big thing I wanted to see was if it had access to the Laurent Protege, but I think he just lives in Shield Wall Shen. But yeah, the thing that would be really looking to pull off here is the Dragon Guard Lieutenant and the Screeching Dragon. These are going to be kind of our premier targets for barriers. And then there are some other useful things in here. Cadrigen can pass out Challenger. We have the Confront. And so I think we can get this going. This is, again, going to be something that pivots over into being more of a Dragon's Challenger kind of build around as opposed to a Shen build around, but that's just kind of the nature of the beast. There's not enough action really going on in this theme. It's definitely just a supporting theme with Shen. But okay, so we're in on the dragons. The kind of downside that we're going to see being in this Ionia half is whenever a Fists of the Dragon pack shows up, it has the chance to have Ionia in it. And so we're really going to be looking for a few specific cards. We're going to want the 2-drops, so the Egghead Researcher and the Challenger, the Challenger that we just called out. The 3s we'll be looking for Loyal Badger Bear, and then the 2/4 for 3 that gives Double Fury. And then those are fantastic units to be applying Challenger to, since they can survive challenges without dying. And so if we need to say like Sonic Wave a Loyal Badger Bear, there's a good chance that it can survive the combat that it's about to get itself into. So we are going to be kind of limited in the dragon cards that show up. I want to take them here while we can, and so we're definitely going to be happy with the Researcher and the Badger Bear. Okay, yeah, this is an awkward set of cards. I'm never taking these Targon cards. I went through the experiment about a month ago of just like trying to force these 3 faction decks, and I just don't like it. I don't think it really ever works out that good. There are some people out there that really like to draft towards what I just call good card decks, to where you don't have a whole lot of synergies going on. You just have a high collection of good cards. And that's just not a deck that I think is ultimately super successful. And so if that was the kind of thing I would like to go down, then the Soldier, Ravoon, and this 3-faction good cards deck could be reasonable. But again, it's just not something I like to do. We're going to stick to our 2 factions. And so if we're going to be taking one of these Ionia packs on the left or on the right, we're going to take up this Green Glade Duo with the Deep Meditation. This is not going to be a Green Glade Duo based deck, but it is still a 2-drop and can come down and interact in the early game, and so it's going to have to be our take here. Oh, here's everything we're trying to do, man. I see these duos in the Claws of the Dragons and really want to just chase down this Lee Sin, but I know we can't do it. But the Young Witch Screeching Dragon is just exactly what we're looking for, giving quick attack challenges with the Young Witch along with our late game play. Just absolutely perfect. Okay. Well, here's the last chance to jump into Targon. Again, we aren't going to be doing this. You could actually make some decent usage out of the way here along with Young Witch, but again, not what we're going to do. I'm looking over here to the River Shaper Screeching Dragon. I don't think we'll have too much trouble picking up Screeching Dragons. Like, I want 3. 4 is a little bit too many. And so I'm a little leery to come and pick up this Screeching Dragon, but we tend to have a lot of usage for River Shaper, and so I think this will be okay. I do really like Rush in this deck that's trying to really take advantage of the challenges, since it's just so cheap. It's very easy to save up 1 mana, but I'm going to take the higher value pack over here to the right. Okay, God, man, I missed out on this so much. This could be our 3rd Claws of the Dragon. I really love the Claws of the Dragon deck, but it's just not what we're doing today. With this, I'm going to take the Judgment. I'm going to have to try and trade out Mobilize as quickly as we can, but Judgment is just way too high-powered to pass up on here. Okay, oh, it's Battlefield Prowess. I thought this was the Umbrella Maker. This is a all-around pretty weak pack. I think we're stuck just taking the Scaled Snapper here. It's like we don't want Battlefield Prowess, don't want Confront. The Whimsies are okay. I would rather this be like a Concerted Strike, but if we're getting a Whimsy, I want it to be paired up with the Scaled Snapper again. We don't have like too much of this early game between like Young Witch and Shen, but this is that same kind of unit where we can make a 5/2 attacker with this. Or, I mean, it is pretty reasonable these days against all of the Noxus decks to just be making 2/5 blockers. And so we'll make some usage out of him. Okay, well, I wasn't thinking that this would end up being a deck that really wanted Scattered Pod, but Detain is just too good to be passing up here, and these other packs contain some real turds. Mobilize and Steel Tempest are both turds. Dragon Chow is okay if you're in the Shadow Isles version of this deck, so that you can play the Chow on 1 and then play the Shadow Isles 2-drop Dragon on 2 and still have the Fury target, but we're not going to be anywhere near pulling that off. So the guaranteed removal with Scattered Pod will be completely fine. Okay, well, we can continue on the theme here. Brightsteel Protector is the best card out of all of these. The Jeweled Protector is a little bit too slow for this kind of deck. I really prefer it to just be in a Elusives deck, so you're making your Young Witches and your Greenglade duos more relevant at like turn 7, but these other cards are all pretty mediocre compared to him. Okay, another decent set with the Egghead Researcher. Good little curve filler. I want to trade away one of these Dragon Guard Lieutenants, but this is another pack where we're having to dodge some turds, right? The Confront, we don't want the Jeweled Protector, we don't want the Steel Tempest, we don't want, and Greenglade Duo, of course, quite good, but it's not good in this deck. So we're just kind of stuck with the middle pack here. Okay, so interesting. We immediately ignore the Retreat Zone Seeds. These cards are just too bad. The card that I'm immediately looking at is Brightsteel Protector, but I want to see if we can make some usage out of this Cataclysm here. I don't think we're going to. It's basically, I wanted to see if we have any scout units, right? Because you can, if you don't have an attack token, say it's your opponent's attack token, and you Cataclysm a scout unit, then you get the attack token as well. So you get multiple attacks in the same turn. But it looks like we're just stuck with the Protector and the Diver. We're a little thin on the Challengers to be making real usage out of these Brightsteel Protectors, but I think we might be able to recover a little bit. This is an interesting one because I'm okay with the Dragon Guard Lieutenant. We should have enough Challengers to activate it, or enough dragons to activate it. Let me see. We got Shyvana. Ooh, we only have 3 dragons at this point, along with the 2 Egghead Researchers. That's a little light. I'm going to pick up the Protege. This is the unit that I was kind of wanting here anyways. This is just your premier early game challenger, and we'll have to trade out some of these Confronts, but I can see us getting some usage out of them here. So many Dragon Guard Lieutenants. How do we get rid of this thing? I do want to pick up our 3rd Screeching Dragon. I think this is quite important, and these other packs are kind of turdy. So hopefully we'll be able to trade some of these Lieutenants away. All right, man. I saw the ability to trade away Mobilize, but Kinku Lifeblade has no place in this deck. Golden Aegis, I'm pretty happy to have 1 copy of, so we'll welcome one of those to our deck. So, all right, let's check this out. If you're not familiar with what we do, we have to go and turn something premium. We live the pay-to-win lifestyle here, and so we go and turn 1 card premium every trial. We're running out of them though. This Greenglade Caretaker is what I was talking about, that they took out of the they took out of the Shen card pool, which I thought was quite odd. But to me, that indicated that the Shen build around is just never going to be a thing in Expedition, if not never. They might have some plans to add some like mass barriers to the format, and this card would get a little oppressive. But I don't know. It was very odd to see this guy pulled out of the out of the Shen build around. Okay, all right. Well, we can pick up the Detain here. I was like, "Ooh, we gotta boost up the Confront because it's our only choice." But no, making these removal spells premium is a pretty top notch strategy, and so welcome to the club. All right, let's get to it. And so yeah, this isn't as a challengery as I would like, but I think we're strong enough to be good. We can definitely piece together some strong draws, and we're just a few trades away from having a pretty powerful deck here. So here, I'm going to hang on to the Sonic Wave. We need to have an answer to Teemo, and doing The Sonic Wave into Badger Bear can do it. The Green Glade Duo can block. Now this hand is shaped up into a winner. I thought that they would likely be playing like the Fishbone deck. That's what you kind of see out of this faction pairing along with the Teemo Fizz. But when they don't drop a 1-drop on you, then that's probably not what they're doing. Kind of odd to see it go that way. So I would assume that he's just playing the Puff Cap deck if he's not dropping 1s or 2s, or even 2s. This does not seem good for opponent. Well, maybe he is and just had a horrible draw. I want to start with the Protege. He's got to be a fantastic blocker regardless what our opponent does. And then if we want to open attack next turn, I want to have our Challenger instead of having the Badger Bear on the board. Okay. Not a problem. Again, we aren't a Green Glade Duo build around today, so it's not a huge deal to have him fall. Okay, now that we've picked up the Confront, we don't need to play Brightsteel Protector. We can just kind of guarantee that we can get a decent combat this turn if we want. This is a little meh. I'm gonna let him hang out for a turn. We can deal with this chump bump later. Right? It's not like we're missing out on damage this turn. We're either attacking with the Badger Bear and he's blocking, or just sitting back on it. And we have the tools to take care of this. This 4-3. Uh-oh. That could be a problem. So, I mean, we have to make the decision here if we just want to go for the single Screeching Dragon or a 2 and a 3. Because if our opponent has like a double trouble here, it's going to be kind of big. But I think we have enough stats between the Dragon and the Badger Bear to answer a double trouble. Wow, and then just actual nothing. Interesting. It's like I don't want to be like super greedy on this turn, but okay. Well, do we need to hold back on the Resonating Strike? I don't think so. I mean, we can do it like this. And then we'll still have the Whimsy if our opponent tries to get too clever with combat tricks. But we gotta get this Von Yip down as soon as we can. My worry here is if they have like a suit up. Right? If they have a suit up, turn Von Yip into a 4-4, then we've got problems with the Badger Bear. But okay, it seems like it turned out fine. Just a really awkward draw from opponent, I guess. I'm gonna add this snapper on the big end, so he can be ready to get his blocks. And then if he's not used to block, we can still just Brightsteel Protector at a turn from now. We should be pretty strong here. Pretty sure we're not going to open attack next turn. It's going to be something like we're going to Key Guardian a Brightsteel, and then Brightsteel our Dragon, Brightsteel our Protege, and then have a full board attack. So it might be kind of awkward. We don't really have any cards to play this turn. We can still Key Guardian a Brightsteel and see what happens, but might be passing with a lot of mana. Most of our draws this rest of this game have to be good, right? If you look at our deck and what's available and what's not, it's like we have 2 Egghead Researchers, which can kind of count as late game cards, and then like just almost everything else costs 4 or more. So the quality of our draws the rest of the way should be pretty high. Yeah, did you just disconnect on us? Nope. All right. Scattered Pod. Okay. What do we want to pick up? We want to pick up a fast spell because that would either be Detain or Golden Aegis. Or I guess judgment. Okay. Do that. Draw a slow, draw a fast here in the middle. Detain. Cool. Okay. See ya, friend. All right, I think we're still on board for the same line. We have the confront as well that we can throw down onto something. I'm kind of thinking we want to, let's say, I'm looking at saying like bright stealing our 5/2, but then playing confront on our scattered pod, so we just protect this big boy in combat. Got a mountain of 1-drops for us. Nothing. And we have to hook. We have to hook the 4/4. Otherwise, he can get a value block with this. With the. Okay. This is going to be a high quality combat. Yeah, when you end the combat with 4 units and your opponent has 0, I'd say that's pretty good. I've been wrong before, but right. Well, this has the potential to be problematic. We can detain, but if he has the spell, it's going to counter it. So, ugh. Oh, he's giving him the elusive. Well, I think we still want to go for it. See if he has the second spell. Ooh, that's scary. I don't think we have anything to hit off Deep Meditation. What do we have? Mobilize, Golden Aegis, and Judgment. Okay. I think we're still okay. It's tough for him to lethal us here, but stranger things have happened. Man, he's not playing Chum the Waters? Oh, okay. Thermogenic Beam is completely fine. And oh, are you kidding me? Oh, I saw that thing come up and thought it was just a concession because we had the lethal with the challenge, but okay, I guess. Yeah, all right, none of these cards are super exciting, but we can trade out the Mobilize again. I'm not like amped about having Swole Squirrels in this deck, but Mobilize is just horrible. So. Oh, what a way to go! That was I'm glad I didn't like say anything. I thought I was like, okay. Well, he's he's seen his draw and conceded because we had like the 7 damage with the challenge. Nope, nope. It's just a ton of puff caps apparently. Oh, that was gross. Ugh. All right, well, let's see if we can recover this Shen draft, or if we can, if we just get the goose egg. That's wild. He had all the cards there. The thermogenic beam wasn't that big of a deal, but having both the puff cap and the fast spell to get through that, not bad. Well played, my man. Okay, onto the old Jarvan Vigio. So we'll hang on to the Egghead and look for some of our cheaper plays. Okay, serviceable. Right, and so it's slightly interesting in the sense that it's like the duo is the most damage, but our opponent could potentially have good attacks next turn. But I think not like super afraid. Like, what's he going to do? I was going to say Cursed Keeper. Then we're okay to just trade with Cursed Keeper next turn with our duo. And this looks okay. All right. Really like to wipe out as much of these units as we can. So it would have been nice to have the Egghead on the board just as a proper blocker against either of these, but Shark Chariot. We want to switch over to this way, right? We don't have any challenges, and then this just guarantees that we have some premium blocks onto this board. I'm going to take down both of his sacrificables here. Just got to get this stuff cleared off as quick as we can. And then, without seeing what we draw, I'm leaning towards playing the Shen here. He allows us to still have a good attack with the Bright Steel Protector. Yeah, I think this is good. I wanna keep slamming in here. Right, so we're gonna get hit by the Chariot next turn. A Chef, okay. Our attack is good. Should have blocked the Shen, right? Unless he has like an unspeakable horror. Put a point of damage on our big boy here. Okay, well, our board is improving. I would assume the sapling is going to come to Greenglade Duo, and then I'm okay with just blocking this other stuff. This does not seem like a profitable attack. Okay, so we'll do it like this. The Bright Steel is going to die regardless of what it blocks, so we'll put the least amount of damage onto Shen. He tries to get like ultra clever with something here. We do have the detain that we can drop. I don't really care about losing any of these units. Like if he does like a riposte to take down Shen, kind of maybe not, but. Okay, I can go behind that. Our duo doesn't die. We can add Shyvana. We can hopefully get ourselves lined up to do something with this Dragon Guard Lookout. Like, is this the turn? Do we just want to go in on it? Hit for 4, 6. They play a unit and then we get to slam in again. I think this is okay. And it seems better than like adding the eggheads and the snapper and stuff. There is a chance that this is just lethal, right? He only has 2 mana left over, so if he doesn't have an additional blocker. Nice. Okay. The trial is not done. No 0-2s today. I do want to like pick up some Shens. Just kind of depends on what the cards look like here. And I mean, this might be a reasonable world to do it. Prismatic Barrier, of course, a premium trick. Stand United's okay. I do prefer like the cheaper tricks when we're like really heavy into dragons, but I think like realistically the the one here to take is probably the Shyvana, but I want to continue on our build around to Shen here and see if we can't come in and try and take some more advantage of this. And so I think we'll pick up at least one more Shen, but this Shyvana is just too good to pass up. I think our removal is fairly bad. My only problem with like picking up Molten Breaths is we don't have enough early game Furies, right? Or just Furies in general. We only have these Screeching Dragons. I think I do want to let that one go. This Fiora is promising as well, though. Probably do just want to take this Fiora, right? And then we can pick up another Shen as our last champion. Okay, I'm convinced. Just need a few more challengers. I like to trade out some of these rally cards. These Dragon Guard lookouts aren't what we're really trying to do. I wouldn't mind picking up a big Demacia epic, something like a Cythria or a Gen Vivi or whatever, one of those just big game winners. And I think we're looking strong, good. On to some more proteges and challenger birds. That would be nice as well. Alrighty, we'll hang on to our 3-drop. Look for some cheaper plays. He was playing 2 Kindreds, right? Yeah, makes sense. Lissandra's horrible. That's the obvious one. Hey, well, not a bad support draw. Oh, thought we had the attack token. Between on our next attack being able to like witch the Shen and then Shen another unit. Pretty good. Oh. Young Witch is not going to be long for this world. Not a lot going on across the board. They got that Kindred this turn. We don't have a lot going on either, but do we want to go ahead and just Key Guardian? I think we should. Just see if we can't pick up something to do. Alright, I'm on board with this. Since we have the Confront, right? If he plays like a Kindred here, it's kind of awkward, but if he has to be like, oh man, here's my Chronicler of Ruin, then it's a little bit more serviceable at least. Closer we to the flip. He's got a ways to go. All right, if he has a ping, this is kind of brutal, right? If he has a Vile Feast or an Unspeakable Horror. But if we can get this damage chunked onto Kindred, then I think we're okay. This is just an absolute disaster if he can break this barrier. Whoa! Whoa! Did not expect that. He was not losing that combat. Alright. That might just end the game for us. This is a big time rally from the lookout. That Screeching Dragon draw was pretty big. He'll be at 1 after this, and then he'll die to the Blighted Ravine unless he has something else to do. Okay, cool. That was a scary attack into Kindred. It's just I get real salty playing against Kindred because I think it's too good for Expedition, and I was just waiting to get blown out. see the salt come over us. Okay, so I would like to pick up like some kind of scout. We don't have any Cataclysms now, but it's something that turns up. But the Deep Meditation doesn't really have a place in this deck, and so the Dragon Guard's a good little pickup here. We're not trying to do like the Fiora OTKs. Like it can play okay there, right? If you're playing a barrier and a barrier, and then you try to have like your OTK lined up, and your opponent has a removal spell, then you have to like refill for the next one. It works out okay in that style of combo-y kind of deck. Just I don't think we really need that much value in this one. Okay. Haven't seen old Draven in a while. I miss you, friend. What do we think of this? I'm trying to think if we want to hang on to Sonic Wave. Because we can clearly go duo Badger Bear into Shen. I think we can get rid of it. Well, it's our only source of challenger, but the problem with it is it doesn't play well into our curve. Well, it was meant to be. This game's Sonic Waves are happening. Not opposed to trying to trade here. It's not going to get a whole lot of value out of this duo. I can say it kind of sucks if he has a combat trick, but it's not the end of the world if they have a combat trick. Thinking about putting that Draven down. Get about it a little bit. Yeah. Sure. Not the 6 drops we were looking for. So he can like make a spinning axe play onto the Badger Bear. I think if he wants to make like that all in of a play, then I'm okay with the whimsy. The right order. Okay. All right, then I don't think we have to open. I think the Scaled Snapper is safe enough here. We can make it a 5-2. And then hopefully guarantee we can take down this Draven. I don't want to just like slam into Draven with the Badger Bear and have him have another trick to take him down. All right. Let's just pass. If he, I'm gonna say if he attacks, then we can bring it back onto Draven. It's not that big of a deal. He's gonna flip and have 5 attack. We can take him down with the Scaled Snapper. Oh, this is like super all in. Maybe we can even get a Whirling Death out of this. I think this is it. I don't want our Shen getting popped by a Whirling Death. I'm okay if the Badger Bear goes. Oh, I forgot its barrier's going to be hanging out, though. Oops. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Do we still want to Sonic Wave this? Oh, there's no way. We're just done with this turn. It's discarded a ton of cards, though. What did these go? Discarded Affectionate Poro and a Brightsteel Protector for this play? We can't do Barrier Lifesteal just, or the Barrier card just yet. We have to get on board with something here. Then I would assume he's going to hook our Shen and our Dragon Guard so Draven can attack through the Snapper. Nope. I think we just pass this if he sends it back to us. Discard Sharpened Resolve down to 1 card. Fortunately, not a lot we can do here. I mean, I guess we can. It's like we can't. Like, it can't Golden Aegis Sonic Wave, but that's not enough to take down Draven. Okay. Need one more mana to pull off those shenanigans. Okay, hopefully we aren't too far behind here. Okay. We can bring in another one. All the spinning axes one could ever need. we can whimsy this retired reckoner. He's not that scary. Oh, we did that backwards, right? We should have put the barrier onto Shen. That's sloppy. Now we're gonna miss the flip on him. I just had in my head we have to get the barrier on the Dragon Guard. If he spews on this Reckoner, that's pretty good for us as well. It's going to get it up to 6/6, but we can Prismatic Barrier to not lose our Shen. Okay, well, we've recovered. that's a fact. We have to keep the 4 mana to try and whimsy this Reckoner. I mean, I know our Shen's big enough, but also get a Judgment here. Okay, this one should just be Dunzos. It'll take us like 100 turns to get a kill, unless we can pick up a dragon. Ooh, there it is. Speaking of the things we need. That'll do it. Ooh, okay, that's close. A little sloppy with our Shen play there, but it's enough. Everything as it should be. So, get to come in and pick up this Shen. Oh, it's a Grand Plaza. We can definitely make that work. Okay, I'm on board with that. Boom. So we do have some like late game stuff we need to trade out. So the way I'm kind of looking at this, I'd like for the Confront to go. I'm fine to trade out Green Glade Duo. And then we're really, pretty okay until we get up here to the top end stuff to where like Silverwing Diver can go, Swole Squirrel can go, Dual Protector can go, some number of copies of Dragon Guard Lookout can go. I thought we just picked up a second Stand United, but oh no, we took the Fiora with our 3rd champion pick. And so, yeah, it's just another one of these things where we want to take our expensive cards and trade them out for cheap cards, and then we're looking quite strong here. All right, on to the next one. We're good. We officially got Shen as the most champions in our deck, so we're officially a Shen build around. I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of the last time we had a deck that I would qualify as a Shen build around. It's been it's been ages. All right, back to keeping on to the Badger Bear. It would have been nice to be able to hang on to that Confront, but we got to try to find a cheaper play here. Got the old the old, hey, I'm playing Fiora curve, where we don't play anything the first 2 turns and then have a barriered badger barriered unit ready to go on 3. Preferably this will be a be a Fiora, but okay. Falling a little behind. It worries me. This deck's top end should be better than ours between Vigio and probably having better dragons than we do, but see, we'll see what we can do. Okay. Sure. Glad to take those units off the board. They have tend to have a lot of the slay dragons, and so seeing them fall feels pretty good for us. And I have no intention of blocking the Shyvana. We'll try and just deal with this stuff next turn if we can find a challenger. Judgment. that's the way to do it, right? Okay, so they can make this like awkward for us if they say have a challenger dragon here. It's gonna be a concerted strike. 2 weakest. Oh. That's a little unfortunate. Gotta try and get something going here. Hopefully we can kind of like survive with a judgment, but this is a bit painful. I think this next turn is going to have to be a stand united turn, which is at least useful against Shyvana. Should keep her from flipping. It's a nice little Shen flip. He's got the most damage to put onto her. If he has like a concerted strike or something, we just lose the game. But we're so far behind at this point, anyways, that I think we just have to go for it. Yep. All right, give me the concede button. Sure. It's just one of the struggles of playing a support based deck is if you fall behind on board, you have a really tough time recovering. All right, on to the next one. And so with these, the lieutenant for the Silverwing Diver is a good pickup. It's not guaranteed that this is going to have challenger all the time, but even like in that previous game, if we just had a 3-2 for 3 on the second turn, we could have done a whole lot of work with it. So the only thing I'm curious about with that game was we did drop that Shyvana, and it felt kind of awkward. I feel like maybe we should have dropped the Shen. Just let the Shyvana through, and then we could have made like a young witch play on the following turn, so we would have had better attacks. I think that's where we went wrong in that game, but definitely sucks to fall behind there. Right, well, we got a 2 and a 3. See what we can pull off with these friends. Okay. Making them value plays, huh? Got the discarded the mushroom generator. All right, we got a dragon. Cool. And we can. I don't expect too much out of this ballistic bot, but we can take it down with a protege now. Do we go for the protege? That's not. This is such a weird set of cards that's been coming out of this deck. I was expecting this just to be like a really removal heavy deck. The play I was looking to make was to say, play protege here, then next turn Key Guardian River Shaper. But now that we've picked up Swole Scroll, I'm kind of interested in using it. Yeah. You start to fall behind on board without the protege. would we like to pivot away from the River Shaper and go for a Bright Steel? I think that's probably the way to do it. And if we're going to Bright Steel, I want to give it Key Guardian. So it can still attack into this board. Right, I don't really want to trade the Bright Steel for the Urchin. You gotta see the barriers. Man, you're the worst, Shen. I was like, all right, how many barriers we played up to this point? Apparently 0. Oh, you're just going all in on the elusives. So, I mean, I would kind of like to switch into hooking the Nyandroid, but I mean, hopefully by taking down his ballistic bot, he just can't make these units relevant. That seems extremely good for us. Okay. There's what we needed. That's the stuff right there. We'll let him make this attack first. We'll get take 5. Now we can start picking on these things. I mean, we should have time to play Shen. If he has a Vengeance, he has a Vengeance. There's nothing we can do about it. But if otherwise, I think this is good. Maybe we can get this Grand Plaza going for our next attack step, next attack token. All right. So, I mean, do we want to do it like this? You can hook like the Screeching with the Protege, take down the bigger one, and then if he wants to stop the damage, he has to use his other Nyandroid. I think this is good. We're not like super close to getting lethaled. Check on how close to enlightened we are. Not very close. Not very close for the scattered pod. Big Dragons Part 2. Well, do we even really want to go this route? I don't think so. We could play it next turn. Just wait, he's gonna pass, or he's gonna attack. There's no way he just passes it back to us. We're gonna take a big old chunk of damage, it looks like, from these elusives. We're gonna take 6, 7, 8. Oh god, are we just dead? Hang on. Front. We're gonna have to pick up a spell here, aren't we? Barrier, Aegis, Detain is what we need. So let's pick up a fast. Judgment, you're not going to do it. Alright, so we're dead. Dang. Dang, they say. We could have done that different. I mean, we could have picked on some of those elusives a little bit differently. So, kind of is what it is. But at the end of the day, yeah, that is the Shen deck, and so it's kind of you got to say like, well, what am I supposed to do with Shen? And that's kind of the extent of it, right? He's in kind of a bad spot these days. He has to be in the supporting role, and so the way that I would have most definitely recommended taking this deck together was you take the Shen, you take the Shyvana second, and then you're just going to be a full-on Shyvana build around. So realistically, like if we weren't trying to make a point to be like, here's Shen, we're drafting around Shen, we're trying to make the best out of these barriers. At the end of the day, this would have 0 Fioras, 3 Shyvanas, and 1 Shen in it. And then ideally, if we're doing barrier stuff with Shen, it's just for the likes of this Dragon Guard Lieutenant or any rando challengers we pick up, and then the likes of our Screeching Dragon. And of course, Shyvana's flip card is Confront. And so, it's just kind of a nice supporting thing. It's just, again, his flip is a little tough to pull off. When it does happen, it's just not that great. And then, support as a mechanic on the whole just tends to be fairly weak. And so, I've tried, we try Shen every once in a while. Basically, whenever like a set comes out, I like to revisit some of these classic champions. Yasuo was the one that we always go after and say he's like one stun away from being the real deal. And I feel like we've been saying he's one stun away from being the real deal for like three expansions now. But it doesn't feel the same with Shen. But this is the first time we've drafted him since 2.11. It is quite weird that he doesn't, that they took that barrier unit away. And I think realistically, the only way you want to end up with Shen's is if you start with if you start with Fiora. That is, of course, quite good. He can kind of work out with Quinn as well. But the essential thing that you're looking for here is the Challenger Bird. And so you can have these draws where you have like Challenger Birds on 1, on turn 2. You can have either War Chef or Young Witch. Then on turn 3, you can have either Fiora or Laurent Protege. And then on turn 4, you're ready with Shen. Like that is kind of the ideal core of the deck that you're trying to piece together here. And that's just not really what we were able to assemble with the dragons. It's all just like a little bit too slow if you're having to play spells to give your units Confront, or if you're not using your Shen until like turn 6 to give a dragon barrier, right? It's already kind of big enough to not need barriers at that point. And so, yeah, that's the way I typically recommend to look towards Shen. Otherwise, if say you're drafting like a Lee Sin and you want to be 100% Ionia, then he can be okay in that sense as well. But as far as build around strategies go, you're really just chasing after the challengers. This was kind of a theme for a while. It's been forever since I thought that this was going to be a thing in Expedition. They did it like once and quit doing it, as to where they added in like the Garen Vladimir card pool. And as it stands now, Vladimir is mainly used with Freylord. And so you're using the combination of the Scarthane units, the ones that take damage to get bonus attack, and then you have the regenerate units. That's where like his kind of bread and butter is. But they did have this deck running around for a while that was Garen paired with Vladimir, and you were supposed to be using the tough units like the 2 elites, the 2/2 for 2 and the 5/5 for 5, and then barriers is the second thing. And so they had this kind of deck. They added it in for like maybe 6 months, and then they took it out. I was hoping we'd see a lot more of that stuff. I was hoping we'd see a lot more curating of the expedition lists, since we're up to 100 some archetypes now. I felt like that could be kind of curated, and that felt like a way that they were going to be doing it. But that might have also been. I'm trying to think if that would have historically been when you still had to play expedition to get champions. So there was I feel like a lot more focus on expedition when that was the case. But nonetheless, I'm starting to get off track here. Again, if you're looking to draft Shen, use him as a support and use him with challengers. That's the 2 big takeaways from the recap section here today. And so let's swing back. There might be a reward to click on. Does not look like that's the case. Again, your reward for the day will have to be to go to the twitter.com/playruneterra and take a peek at the new card releases, because that is going to do it for us here. And so hope you learned how to give out the barriers a little bit better. You maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.